And we're good here. And Harry, I will go in 3, 2, 1. Every so often, Harry gets schoolgirl happy about a guest that we've landed, and so it was the case with this week's guest. And on these occasions, all I can do is just let the hairy man go. So, come on, mate, you take over from here.
Prepare for something amazing, guys. This man takes the cake, he bakes the bake, he binds the bunt, he's the red in the velvet, he's the cream and the cheese. He's the coffee on top. He's the free in the free state. He is the bloom in the fontaine. And he is the detonator of the bomb squad. Yes, you guessed it right. We have before us now Rachigo Faditswe Nche, also known as Ox Nche. Ox, come here, man. 26 Bok Captain, World Cup champion, Challenge Cup. You turned Gloucester into cherry pie. What happened?
Oh my goodness! Wait, I just have to ask first. How long did it take you to actually come up with that introduction? That's my only question.
It's a good question.
Stayed up all night, Ox. I was like nervous. I did like several runs through. I talked to Marco from the Sharks and said, "Can I say this? Is it okay?" And he said, "Yeah, come on." Go.
Yeah, and sadly, Ox, we've got no more time, so it was just all his intro.
I also had Sinclair Slayer and Genj Gasher, but I thought that was a little bit too
no.
Genj Gasher. It is great to have you on the 8-9 Combo podcast, Ox. It's fantastic. Thanks so much.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you very much. And well, Harry, going back to our question is, I mean, it was an unbelievable final. Our game was pretty exciting, but I mean, we had a plan, and which we happened to execute pretty well in the finals. And I mean, we all just worked together, and everyone just wanted it as much as the next person did. And I think that's why everything just seemed to work. I mean, the ball just seemed to bounce in our favor. We're just on song. We just wanted the same thing, and I think we just worked hard. I mean, you look at that first 10 minutes, you would have thought, you know what, we actually gonna have a long day, and we're like, nah, you know what, they can even throw the kitchen sink at us. We'll still we can still take it, because I think we just wanted it more.
Yeah, it looked like that. It looked like that. Gloucester had you on the ropes there on the first 10, 15 minutes, and the game would have been different if Eben hadn't slid in and literally saved a try, kind of like by sitting down cross-legged and got his feet under it. It was crazy.
Yeah, exactly. And I think that's what I'm saying. The day the ball just bounced in our favor. I mean, you look at that, I mean, even as 2.1 meters tall, and for him to get that down low, it was just that's what I'm saying. It's just instinct. If he just felt like it was just flowing, everyone was just on par. Everyone was just ready for anything, and we just wanted it more, I guess. That's how I felt.
Sorry. Was there a moment where you finally realized, you know what, we've actually got this under control?
Yeah, I think I remember. I think in the second half, and they just scored a more penalty, and we're like, they might actually be coming back. And now we kicked off. I think we won the kickoff scraps, and then Sia kicked that beautiful kick across, and I'm like, nah, the ball is just just seems to be bouncing on our side. And that's when I was like, they can literally do anything now, and we'll still be able to manage it. We'll have an answer.
No, you had Fepsi Buthelezi running the second coming of Pierre Spies down the middle, just handing off people and fending. But I have to say, Ox, you're being a little bit humble. I think the scrum ascendancy was the turning point of the match, because they could not keep you out of the 22. You had easy entries. Tell us about that. I mean, did you hear the ref a lot? Were you able to sort of work with the ref? I know you talk a lot about understanding what the ref wants and what they want to see. How do you see how the Sharks got on top at scrum?
For me personally, because I mean, as you know, in the top 14, they're very very big on set piece dominance, and they actually respect that part of the game. And obviously knowing the ref Mateo, we were like, you know what, boys, you just have to, all you have to do is just do your job, or show them good pictures and dominant pictures. And I think that's what we wanted to, like, that was our plan initially, like, you know what, as long as you give him really good pictures, dominance, and then he'll, like, for him it's easy to make. I mean, we've been ref by a French ref, I think Dragons, and we scrum, I think we're playing Dragons, and we scrum them 10 meters back, but because the Dragons did nothing wrong, he didn't give us a penalty for it, and we knew, like, and we know it's mainly because, like, a lot of French refs actually have a lot of respect for set piece battles, and that's why, like, they'll penalize you if you do something wrong. But as long as you're showing good pictures, dominant pictures, and they're going to reward you as well.
I always thought, like, being part of the Instagram generation, you're very good at doing socials and stuff. Obviously the cake is one thing that vaulted you in. But like, in the prop wars now, they always talk about that. Create good pictures. Maybe you're the best generation ever to know how you look in a selfie. So you're really good at giving Mathieu Renal a picture. But at one point, he literally took Gloucester's front row aside. I don't know if you saw this, Brett, but so Mathieu Renal takes Gloucester's front row and goes, I cannot find a solution for you. You must find the solution to just getting mullered by Ox. And I was like, I don't know what the solution is. Like, be better, be stronger.
And didn't they all get hooked at that point?
Yeah, they were gone.
Yeah. That's the solution.
I think it was late in the first half, I remember. And I think it was probably after our fourth penalty. He was like, guys, you literally have to do better. And that's when you know what? And now we can actually even put even more pressure on them, because now they're not just looking at us. Now they're saying, you know what, we actually have to show the ref that we actually want to scrum today. And now they're also thinking, these guys look like they're actually more keen to scrum than we are. And now you...
Yeah, that's a psychology, Ox. It's like you don't want to look reluctant to scrum, because then you're almost signaling to the ref, like, no, you're right, they're dominant. So I know you have a degree, I put that on the intro, a Bachelor of Science in Stats and Geography. Are you an analyst of the game? Do you try to post-game look at, numbers, scrums, and stats?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, that's the most important. Like, for me personally, I get to like learn to pick up patterns, I guess, especially for my opponents, especially if I know, you know what, I'll always look at, like, the first few minutes. I'll always look at the time on when my tight actually starts breaking shape, or when they start doing something that actually, like, that's not their strong point. And is it because of fatigue? Is it just because of the pressure that you apply? And I'll just try to pick up that. And it's not really numbers for me. It's like more trying to pick up patterns and trying to actually get to those patterns where they're most uncomfortable in, like, as soon as possible.
Yeah, we talked about when we had a chat in London, it was about finding the awkward spots. And I broke shape within 1 second of you scrumming me, by the way. But
was it that long?
I never had shape, but the idea, and you talked to me a little bit about big and small props, tall and short. Interesting enough, from that chat, what I got from you is you're not in a hurry. Like, you let the guy, in some ways, a big tight head, you let him come at you and almost feel like he's got you. Then you do your work.
Yeah, because the difference, a lot of tall tight ends, even if they hit, they're still going to end up on top of you.
Yeah.
And as Lou said, you kind of hit straight and upwards. And that's the thing about it. It's like, okay, what? He can do whatever, but he can do whatever he wants. But as long as I end up under him, it's always like it's not a problem at all. And like when you're scrumming against a guy that's your height, now you have to. That's always like the biggest challenge, because you have to match the head. You have to be, obviously, make sure that you're actually stronger than him and your technique is better.
Shark season didn't go the way you wanted it in the beginning, but what a sweet ending. Are you looking forward to 2025 now in a different way? Like, are you chatting to some of your friends abroad and kind of saying, hey, come back? Is it part of the recruiting angle as well to say, you guys can come play in the Champions Cup next year?
Come and play in Europe.
Yeah.
Well, I'm definitely pretty excited. I mean, we like when we got here mid-season, we're like, boys, at this point, like the easiest thing to do now is like control what we can really, and which was actually the closest goal for us was like we can actually win the Challenge Cup, and then we said, you know what, we all aligned to it, and we all said, boys, this is what we're going to need to actually win the Challenge Cup, and that's also our way into the Champions Cup. So I think we all bought in, and every single guy was like, you know, I'll sacrifice what I need to sacrifice just to make sure that we get the success of it. And it's absolutely amazing because now you also like the Sharks media call it like a road to redemption, where I mean, all the things, like all the time the fans had to sacrifice coming out to the stadiums, the money they spend coming to watch us. It's also like we giving back to them, like thank you for actually coming out and supporting us. And obviously it's much more lucrative for guys that were thinking of coming back home to South Africa. I mean, now you think, okay, you know what, you actually still get to play against like the best teams in the world in the Champions Cup.
So just between you and us and the whole world, who was the legend of celebration? Who was the chief of the beers?
Pointy Monabi.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I had it narrowed down to the front row.
You know, it has to be one of us. The Pointy definitely, and I think he had to because him and Vincent Tituka, the one like the offline, they're in the same area. So because I know Boy, I was like, you know what, I know he gets to a level where he's just too happy, and so it's like, you know what.
He does seem Bogie seems like an emotional player. Like he's all in. When he's on the field, he's like no one is more intense, but maybe he has to let go at the end.
Yeah, I mean, he is. The thing that he's like is genuine. Those are like his genuine emotions. Like on the field, he's focused on the job, and he really wants to like cause as much pain as possible. And you meet him off the field, and like he's just a genuine guy. Like, you know what, he'll sacrifice what needs to be sacrificed for the team. He'll absolutely buy in, and he's a people's person, and gets along with everyone, and he's just an amazing guy.
It's a hell of a criticism that he's just too happy.
Hey, if Ox tells you you're too happy, you're pretty happy.
Yeah. A lot of people always look like, but he actually always looks like, always angry. I'm like, I walk into the change, like in the mornings, I'd walk into the changing room, and always, definitely, I know he's probably going to show me a funny video, or he has something like funny to say or whatever, and I'm like, dude, like I never get to see what's so scary about Boingy.
Yeah, exactly. So you're a happy warrior, and obviously that comes through on Chasing the Sun too. It came through in the World Cup run through the knockouts. How do you handle your nerves? Are you just not naturally a nervous guy? I didn't see you kind of sweating out there in the knockouts against France, England, and New Zealand.
I always believe like I have a job, and I think that's like all the coaches off of the Springboks, they just say, you know what, the best thing you can do is just do your job. There's nothing extra you have to do. You have a certain like point of difference in that you can actually like help contribute to the team, and that was me really. You like apply yourself wherever you can. And this is how you can apply yourselves in the scrum. And I mean, you're not gonna go. You might score with a beautiful tries in the corner, but the main important thing is that you actually have to scrum guys, stop mauls, make pick on the big boys, and all of that. And for me, always knowing my job, like preparation, like calms me down because I know, you know what, I know exactly, that's what I'm saying. Like, I know who I'm playing against. I know like their patterns and all of that. And I think that kind of gives me confidence and just calms me down because, I mean, in the end, the best is all I can do.
Also, your blood sugar might be really high from all the cake, and so you're just kind of in a placid mode, man. You're like chill vibes.
I was wondering how long it would take us to get on the cake.
We'll get there in a minute. So I was at the quarterfinal, and I couldn't even hear myself think. I was trying to project myself and put myself into a scrum in the middle of that cauldron of sound. I mean, what was it like to actually hear the referees, bind and pause? How did you even take in the moment? It was just must have been mad.
Yeah, I think the fortunate part for us is that we had played for the previous year
in Marseille.
Yeah. And I think, in Marseille, and in Marseille, like you literally, the stadium, the way the stadium is built is like literally the crowd is literally right on top of you.
Yeah.
And I think for us, we're like, it's probably going to be like 10 times even more intense.
Yeah.
And I think it was actually, that's more intense. But you take it in. You take it in like you literally have no time actually to be concerned about how the crowd feels and all of that. You just take it in and say, you know what, I'm actually happy to be, I'm blessed to have this opportunity. And you just have to do what you have to do. And you think about the guy in front of you, honestly. Yeah.
That was a proper scrum battle. I mean, all those knockouts, the knockout rounds, there were some really good scrums, and it wasn't an accident that the best scrums wound up in the top, 8 and then 4 and then 2. The All Black scrum was, you talked to me about how they scrummed differently in the final than ever before. It was really a tough scrum to break, wasn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the All Blacks, they have like, they're pretty straightforward front row, just like South Africa. If they want to dominate you, they want to dominate you through the middle. Like you all three guys will change height and go through you, and that's how they normally scrum. And I think in that game they just all went through the tight end, which is my side, and they all like changed angle. Which for me, I was like, oh, this is definitely something different. Like I'd never seen that picture from them, like from any of our games. And I was like, okay, now it becomes like, okay, how do I counter this? Because I mean, it was a new thing for me to see from them, and it was difficult, but
that final scrum was for everything, right? So to confirm the win and get out of there alive, you had to survive the scrum. You had to not get pinged. You had to get the ball through channel. Jasper had to lift, go, and not get turned over or choked. You must have known right at that moment that scrum was the scrum of your life.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, easy. You consider penalty up, they might get a chance to actually score 3 points. They win the game. You concede penalty or even a turnover, they get a chance to actually attack you guys and score. And the All Blacks, they've always been known for their attacking rugby. And they can literally score from nothing. Yeah. So you think, okay.
Yeah, you're talking to an Australian over here. Brett, there's a lot of scars.
Yeah, yeah. From nothing, you
Sorry.
Nah,
you're all right, Ox.
So Jasper picks that up. Did you even get out of the scrum bind to be able to join that? I forgot. Did you get around there, or was it by that time had Wayne Barnes blown the whistle?
I promise you the scrum. So we for instance, that's actually I think he had hurt his shoulder as well. Just prior to that, we just told him to just hang in there. And obviously Dion had hurt his rib, and we just
Dion, for me, the guy who shouldn't even been playing hooker, right?
Exactly. And he's hurt as well. You thinking, you know what? Just bite the bullet, boys. This this final scrum. And that's all that matters. After this, we champions. And I think even then, as we scrummed, and Jesper took the ball out. Like, still then, we're like, you know, we were still in the scrum. We just couldn't believe it. We weren't even out yet. Like,
Keep going, just in case.
and we just heard the siren go. And obviously, it was like, I think it turned into a Boko that helped Jesper up immediately. And you just have like, you feel like the whole like weight of the world has been lifted off you. And you're like, yeah.
Yeah.
Do you even remember that moment? Is it almost like a blur, or do you have a specific memory of who you were hugging and who you were talking to?
I just couldn't believe it. I literally remember, I looked at the time, I'm like, I think in my brain, I think for some reason I thought the score was just different. It looked like we were behind by a point. I don't know why. I just looked at this guy, I just couldn't believe it, because I mean, you literally there like your World Cup champion, and you just like, I couldn't believe it. I was looking at everyone. I just saw everyone break down in tears. The crowd, obviously, and you're just taking it all in. You like, you kind of feel. Well, I felt numb. Like, I just couldn't believe it. It felt like it was like absolutely unreal. I was like, actually, like we like the champion of the world.
Yeah, it was mad. Brett was trying to find me for an instant reaction at that moment, and I was crying, pissing, drunk. I don't know what was going on. I was fighting people.
The worst of it was I could see you on TV. There'd be a shot cut to where you were. The families, weren't you?
Yeah, I was right next to Stacey Bombonambi.
Yeah. So I'm trying to get you on the phone. I'm like, answer your phone.
No, that was a crazy night.
Ox, I'm wondering, Ox, in those moments where it's just pure elation in those moments. Are you still now? And we're what 8 months after the event. Are you still seeing clips and replays of things? And obviously, Chasing the Sun has come out again. Are you seeing moments in the footage of the celebrations where you go, I do not remember that happening?
Yeah, definitely. I'm like, it was, I remember that final whistle afterwards, and, getting to the hotel, and afterwards, it's just, it's kind of a blur for me. I can't. I literally remember that. And I remember getting to South Africa, and also what happened in South Africa. It's also kind of a blur, because
the airport scenes in Joburg was just mad. I mean, getting through airports is a hassle at the best of times, but that. Yeah. I mean, that was taking you an hour to get in. Never mind actually check in. That's just to get through. That was just wild.
Yeah, I mean, and I think that's why, like, a few of the senior players had said, like, you know what, you feel like it's special now. Wait until you actually get to Joburg, and you actually see how special winning a World Cup trophy is. And they're like, surely, man. I mean, I can already feel it's big. Obviously, people posting videos, people sending messages and all of that. And then you actually get to the airport and you still can't believe it. Even though that, like, everyone told you, like, oh, this can't be, like, how is literally the airport? Like, how's the airport like so full? Like, I've never seen the airport that full. Even now, like, everyone literally just came out to see a squad of about 28 guys, and literally you had guys on the toppest floor, and like you fall, but you just came there just so that you can like welcome us back. And for me, I think that was the craziest, because I mean, you had people work, have jobs, and they literally took time out of their day to just, even if they were like 100 meters away, but as long as they could see you, they were just happy. And for me, I think that was the most special part about it. Is like how, like,
Yeah, so obviously it's hard to repeat. Repeating in sports is hard. It's even hard to back up a win inside a league, let alone repeat in a World Cup. You've got some guys, obviously, in your team that have done that. Is it that kind of joy, that kind of celebration, and actually helping a country come together that sometimes has a hard time being friends with each other and brothers and sisters, and then that moment you realize, we really are all family. Does it make you motivated for 2027 in Australia? Is it something that burn now inside you to go, I have to feel that again the way it did for, say, Pollard or, Eben?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it's being a part of the Springboks is always, like I always say, it's a massive honor, and I truly mean it. Like to actually be blessed, you don't know what might happen from now till 2027.
True.
But to be like, let's just wear the jersey, every single cap that I get, it's just, for me, it's an amazing honor. And definitely, I will, like, for me, if I had a choice, I'd like definitely want to win every single game in the Springbok jersey, and that's how it actually like means to me. And I think going again, obviously now people actually want you to do well. And I think that's the most motivational thing, is that you have so many people that actually look up to you. You doing well inspire so many people to actually do better in their fields as well. And I think for me, it's always that's always motivation. I say, you know what, I can actually make people happy and actually give people some light in their lives.
Yeah, that's such a good point, Oxen. You play the game the right way because you are a happy warrior. I think people are rooting for you. I'd be remiss at not covering cake, which is, you own the brand of cake. So let's talk about, do you actually bake cakes, or are you just a cake eater?
I'm not the best baker. I promise that.
You don't have to
be. With experience, I'll definitely get better. And I think but I definitely do know how cake should taste like. So,
see, I'm thinking about a cooking show between the three of us, later in the year, after you win the rugby championship. I think we should have a live cooking show. We bake cakes together. I think that would be really good money.
That would be interesting.
Hey, so when you define cake, have you ever ate a pavlova in Australia, or obviously you've got malva pudding at home?
Surely
is that cake enough, or does it have to be more like a proper baked cake?
Definitely, it's cake enough.
Yeah.
It's cake enough.
Cake enough. Oh, that's
so
good.
And that's the thing, same with a malva pudding, once you get it right, you just get it right. You just get it right. It's life-changing.
It is life-changing.
I like that and I saw this come out over the weekend, that you've compared your teammates to cake. And Lacanio Am you described as apple crumble. Vincent Koch you said was cheesecake. Sia Masuku was Black Forest cake. Werner Koch was carrot cake. Afaleli Farsi was red velvet. Grant Williams was a chocolate volcano. The big question I have in all this, I can't argue with any of those, for the record.
Yeah, Werner Koch, that's spot on, by the way.
The big question I have in all this is, what do they think about that?
They actually laughed at it, you know what? Some guys weren't too happy. I know Bogi wasn't too happy. Then I said, and the chocolate volcano is as smooth as his head. But I think most of them Brandon literally want more. I think the motive is hey, you actually have me a bit on the wild side. And I was like, yeah. What's
it's so good. It's so good. I love that. I love that. At some point, there was a question asked of you where they thought, we're going to get a really deep answer to this. And, what is Ox Nche's secret to scrummaging? And you just said cake. And that has just killed the art of scrummaging forever for everyone now. It's just, that's the answer.
Yeah. Pancake, guys.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Hey, Ox, the Chasing the Sun too, obviously we referred to it a little bit. How did they get that much footage? Did they follow you around everywhere? I mean, people got so comfortable with the camera. I couldn't believe they were saying things on camera.
Yeah, so they literally become part of the team, us, because you literally you eat with him breakfast. You get there, you stay in the morning. So open table, you go eat with him, chat with him. And I think he's pretty much become our teammate. And I think that's why even when he's walking around with his camera, and shooting punch. You don't actually like focus on him because he's just natural. Because like you're so used to like actually seeing him every day, and you actually forget that like the cameras are even on, and you just like going about your day. And luckily they like Chasing the Sun didn't show everything. And
yes, imagine what they did show.
Yeah, that's the next Chasing the Sun 3 is the bloopers.
yeah. Look, it's a fantastic doco, and I'm only partway through it, I must admit, but it's a fantastic doco. The revelations that you all provide as a team and as individuals it's phenomenal. It's just we're in a real rich time period for sport documentaries at the moment. It's so good. Ox, this has been great. We could keep firing questions at you about cake, about scrums, about stats, about teammates, about everything. We could keep doing this for hours, but we're not going to. Again, as I say, someone's got to edit this at some point. So look, thanks so much for giving us a bit of time on your day. We really, really appreciate it, and all the best for later in the year, but not too much when you come to Australia, all right?
I know you want me to do Rugby Australia.
Yeah, thanks, my brother, and really, it's a great to chat with you. Now we have had Frans Malherbe and you on, so we basically have Springbok props in our mythical team.
We've got to work on a hooker now.
Thank you very much. Thanks you guys for having me.
Thanks, mate.
I really enjoyed it.
Cheers. Hey, Ox.